So I'm here with Naomi Soleil, Team Buble from The Voice. Pleasure to meet you.
Yes, pleasure to meet you too.
So first off, what did you learn during your journey on Team Buble? It says on your bio, you've been songwriting since you were 9, put out
Yeah.
music to when you were 12. So you're pretty much a vet, even though you're still pretty young, but you are a vet. So what did you learn during this whole experience on Team Buble?
I mean, I've never been in a situation like The Voice before. Michael Bublé was so humble and like wise. It was like talking to this like wise teacher. It was incredible, really, to learn from somebody who's been in this industry for as long as he has. He's like some mastermind genius. It was incredible.
And also, did you learn a lot from the other artists that you made friends with along your journey? And what was that like just having so many different practices and musical backgrounds just sort of commingle in this whole sort of environment?
It was so interesting because I go to Berklee College of Music, so I'm surrounded by musicians as well. But being surrounded by that many vocalists all doing the same thing was really interesting for me because everybody is from, different backgrounds, everybody's different ages, everybody has different experiences. So it was really, really cool to make friends with everybody.
I really loved your rendition of Stars. That's such a very emotional and resonant song. Can you just talk about practicing for Stars and then finally going up on stage and just getting that two-chair turn and seeing the audience standing for you? What was that whole kind of experience like? And just the fact that you had a quality song to, as your anchor.
Yeah, so I have loved this song for a couple years now. I actually did it as one of my final performances for one of my classes here at Berklee before The Voice. So I know the song very well, and it was just so amazing to get to perform it in front of that audience. It was unlike anything I've ever done before, really. It was so cool.
And then on the flip side, months later, seeing your performance on TV with, I'm sure, I don't know if you had a viewing party with your family or friends or where you were located. What was that whole experience like watching yourself live on The Voice?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I've never been on TV before, so it was me and a couple of my friends and we're just sitting in front of the TV waiting for me to come on. Like everybody's going on through the episode and we're like, "Oh my gosh, am I gonna be next?" And then I came on and it was like, "Whoa, it's so crazy to see yourself on TV like that."
Well, how would you judge yourself on TV? What rating would you give yourself? Are you a harsh critic or did you give yourself a break when you when you saw yourself perform?
Um, I think it depends on the situation, but I thought I did pretty good. I had a lot of fun. I wasn't really nervous going into it. I was just more excited than anything. So I thought I did a pretty good job.
Quick question, just curious question. Songwriting starting at 9, musical family, they're really your whole family steeped in music. But when you have kids coming up to you, my niece she's 8, she's gonna be 9 in August. What kind of advice or insights would you give just people who are starting, maybe no matter what age, and they want to start learning how to songwrite or just start putting pen to pad, so to speak?
I would definitely say to keep an open mind to failure and start getting really comfortable with failing and not being super happy with what you're doing because the only way to learn and make changes is to do something wrong and then you can learn from it. So I would definitely say if you're gonna go into something like the music industry, be be okay with not loving what you're doing every single time you do it. Be okay with making mistakes, with whatever. You got to be okay with failing in order to succeed.
So speaking of failing and succeeding, what's it like actually going to university in Berkeley? I'm not a music person in a tangible fashion. What does it give you as an artist and as a person who's just learning along the way?
Well, something that's super interesting, it's like I want to be in the music industry, of course, after college, and it's kind of like a warm up. We've got lots of classes that really prepare us for the real world. Like we have one class is called ensemble, and you're put with a bunch of different Berklee students, and you work with a teacher and come up with a set list and perform with a band. Like, and it's all the students in the class, and it's really cool and really interesting. There's so many different people here, so many different amazing majors, and it's great to learn from everybody because it's like it's practice for the real world, essentially.
Speaking of practice, I recently interviewed Simone Maric, and she was talking about the band director. She learned a lot from him as far as just advice and insights. What was it like for you, without giving too much away regarding the battles, but just during that round, what was it like learning with that live music experience?
Yeah, I mean, everybody there is just so good at what they do. It, oh my gosh, it's like you can say anything and they'll immediately know how to fix it or know what to change, and it all just comes together so nicely, so fast, it seems. Everybody is just so talented, and it's so awesome to be in front of a band like that.
Now, you were talking about you want to be in the music industry moving down the road, along down the road. Do you have a specific genre you want to focus in, or right now are you just open to exploring so many different facets?
So my end goal, or my goal in general, is to perform my own original music in front of whoever will listen. I am a alternative folk artist, and that's I've been working in that genre pretty much the whole time. I've been writing music, and I just I love sharing what I do. I think it's such a unique experience to have to share your music like that, and that's everything that I want.
What is it like to share your original music? Is it something that's very hard to put into words? And has that feeling changed as you evolved over the years as far as sharing your music?
After doing it for as long as I have, even though I'm only 19, um, it's you get better at it after a while, and you learn how to navigate this sort of path. Um, at the beginning, when I started really getting serious about it, I mean, there were a lot of stuff that I would write, and then like I'd come back to it the next day and be like, wow, this is trash. So it's a lot of trial and error, but ultimately it's giving yourself a break and being okay with not loving everything that you do, because you're not going to love everything that you do, but that's how you move forward.
So, final couple questions. When people now, since your episode aired, what kind of reaction have you received? And I'm sure you've received maybe messages or DMs on how do I get on The Voice? What was your unlock? And what do you usually tell people as far as just sort of the broad base insight you give people who want to actually go on The Voice?
Yeah, so the responses from people have been great, but also some of them have been pretty mixed. Like, there are some people on Facebook who definitely have some strong opinions for all of us regarding our auditions, but I mean, that's a part of it, and you have to be okay with it. But in terms of auditioning, I did it like the old-fashioned way, and I submitted a an audition. I actually auditioned for the first time my senior year of high school. Um, and I went through that whole process, but I mean, the worst thing that could happen is you don't get it. And you might as well try, because it's experience and you can always try again next time.
Right. And final question, this is just a curious question. Growing up in a music family, and music is going to be a big part of your life moving down the road. Can you give our listeners maybe a couple of albums that you feel are your favorite and most personal albums that you love so much and that maybe
Yeah.
inspire you as an artist, and maybe
Mm.
you can educate our listeners and especially me as well. So thank you for your time and give us some two album picks. Yeah.
Sure. One of my favorite albums by Greta Van Fleet is Battle at Garden's Gate. I just everything about that album is so wonderful. And probably my favorite folk album by a smaller artist is Serotinalia by Cricket Blue. They're a duo. Um, and it's just incredible poetry, and you can learn so much from that writing, and it's just mind-blowing, really.
Naomi, thank you so much for your time and pleasure interviewing you, and we'll continue to follow your music post The Voice.
Yes, thank you. This has been great.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews and interviews, please subscribe to my Deepest Dream channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for your support. Take care.